This is Scout. Scout is a low health, high damage class with proficiency in mobility and 1v1 combat. He's an agile class that works well in most spaces, and has the capability to be one of the most powerful classes in the game if played right. Scout has a scattergun, a pistol, and a baseball bat. His scattergun can deal up to 103 damage per shot while holding 6 shots in the magazine, allowing for rapid fire burst damage and the killing of multiple enemies in a single mag. His pistol can do up to 22 damage per shot with a 12-round magazine, and acts well as a source of both long-range chip damage and as a backup weapon. And his bat acts as his melee option, acting as either a panic button for when your aim fails or as a last resort when needed. Scout also comes with the fastest run speed in the game and a double jump, and all of that on top of a double capture rate. As a scout, you perform best when doing one of 3 things: doing the objective, taking out targets, or patrolling flank routes. Those same flank routes are useful for your navigation, since you can sneak up behind the enemy and be able to get the drop on them. Scout thrives best when using a stealthier playstyle and approach, though it's good to keep in mind that head-on encounters are still perfectly viable. Scout is a class that focuses on hit-and-run tactics, and has the habit of suffering from engaging groups of enemies due to his low health. His speed and mobility allow for quick navigation of a map, dodging incoming enemy projectiles, and escaping fights he doesn't want to partake in. He's a class that excels in both combat and objective plays, and mastery of both his movement and his playstyle will allow you to become a tiny, caffeinated gremlin man with a shotgun that can't die! Scout's got guns. Like a lot of guns. Like a lot of guns. And we're gonna go over all of them. You want to know what they are? You are in the right place, baby. This scattergun is Scout's stock primary. It deals big damage and goes boom. The babyface's blaster stunts your movement speed in return for a boost meter. Fill the meter by dealing damage and avoid taking damage or double jumping to keep it filled. Boost is also filled with secondary and melee damage. The backscatter does mini crits to enemies from behind at the cost of a smaller mag and a wider spread. Catch enemies by surprise using flank routes and use a damaging secondary weapon to cover its weak 1v1 ability. The Force of Nature is a double barrel shotgun that can throw enemies around with its heavy knockback. Fire at your feet while in midair to do a triple jump. The Soda Popper is a double barrel shotgun with large burst damage capability. Deal 300 damage to fill up a hype meter and activate it to perform a sextuple jump. The Shortstop is a shotgun pistol able to output consistent damage in a tight spread. The pistol is Scout's stock secondary, dealing consistent damage at medium range and acting as a softening, pestering, and finishing tool. The Winger does more damage at the cost of a smaller mag, and lets you jump higher, allowing for use as a movement tool. The Pretty Boy's pocket pistol has a higher rate of fire with a smaller mag, but heals you for every time you hit an enemy. The Bonk turns you invincible for 8 seconds, but removes your ability to fire weapons while it's active. The Criticola makes you deal and take mini crits for a short amount of time. The Mad Milk coats enemies in milk. Milked enemies will have damage dealt to them returned back to the attacker in the form of health. The Flying Guillotine is a throwable knife that does damage and inflicts bleed. The Bat is the stock melee weapon, used to bash in skulls. The Atomizer lets you do a third jump when fully deployed. The Boston Basher causes enemies to bleed, but missing swings causes you to receive that bleed instead. The Candy Cane makes enemies drop small health kits on death at the cost of getting one shot by demos and soldiers. The Rap Assassin lets you throw a ball that causes bleed at the cost of dealing very little direct damage. The Fan War does little damage, but can mark enemies for death, making them take mini crits. The Sun on a Stick allows you to crit enemies that are on fire. And the Sandman is sad. If you're going to be playing Scout, you'll need a rundown on how to fight the enemy team. Scouts can be beat with either superior movement speed and aiming, or by catching them by surprise. Scout v Scout is a matter of skill and positioning, so play smart. Soldiers can be hard to deal with, but it's always a safe bet to keep off the floor to avoid rocket splash damage, and keep your movement erratic to dodge incoming rockets. Avoid soldiers with the direct hit, as they can insta-kill you. Pyro should be fought from range, and avoided in close quarters. Your pistols are your friend here, and anything else requires either stealth or blind luck. Demo men often lack close quarters effectiveness, so getting in their face while still avoiding their melee range is your best bet. Make sure to avoid blindly walking into sticky traps, and of course get good at dodging. Demo Knights can floor you in seconds and close the distance quick. Avoid head-on encounters and stick to the area where they won't be able to get you as easily. Heavies can take a lot of damage and output just as much, so stick to either focusing already distracted heavies or already damaged heavies. Get in their face and jump around to make tracking you harder. Engineers can be either a slower scout or a menace to your health, either of which is determined by the presence of a sentry. Pick at sentries with your pistol if you can, and always remember that NGs have a shotgun. Medics can screw you up with their melee and crossbow shots, but as long as you stay erratic and keep your distance, they're easy prey. Keep in mind that the bigger threats are the people that surround them. Snipers can dome you from afar, but their melee capability isn't much worse due to their SMG and Kukri. Beware snipers using the Piss and Bushwhacker combo, and avoid their sightlines and try and get the drop on them. And spies are filthy taffers that can be outwitted by avoiding their melee range. Fall not for any of their trick stabbing nonsense, and be sure to remember that they do in fact have a gun. TF2's fundamental mode will have Scout on both attacking and defending sides. However, while Scout is capable of playing a more defensive role if need be, it's important to keep in mind that he's primarily an offensive class, and because of that, attacking a Scout is his bread and butter. There are two main ways to attack as Scout. The first way is to push with your team and play a more supportive pick role. Get in, assist your teammates, pick off key targets, and assist in capping points with a double capture rate. The second way is to flank and surprise enemies. Take a side path, get behind the enemy, and attack either solo enemies that are far away from their team, or key targets bunched up with their team. Consider using the Mad Milk during team pushes to give your team some extra health. And consider picking up the Atomizer, Winger, or Force of Nature for added mobility to unlock new paths on the map. Keep an eye out for sentries and sticky traps when pushing or flanking, as Scout can be curb stomped easily by a good defensive setup. Playing on defense as Scout isn't impossible, but his kit and playstyle makes hardcore defense not very fun, let alone actually viable. So for Scout, the best defense is a good offense. Taking a flank route as Scout to get behind the enemy push can let Scout take out a few key enemies and weaken the overall push, allowing enemies in the front to hold the line. For the most part, no matter which side you're on, your goal is going to be primarily to kill people. If there is a mode that Scout thrives in, it would be King of the Hill. Other modes aren't impossible to play on, but King of the Hill is a mode that prioritizes smaller maps with more flank routes and makes playing Scout a much more simpler ordeal. Here are some Koth maps I recommend playing Scout on. Harvest is a small farm map with a simple layout and a solid starting place for Scouts. Kong King is a windy city map with a lot of flank routes, great for surprising enemies. Sawmill features both map hazards and great elevation, perfect for surprise plays and force nature shenanigans. And Swagen is a simple 3-path map with good elevation and a big death pit, and is my personal favorite map in the game. Other modes in the game can work just fine, but they do come with downsides. Attack, Defend, and CP5 will demand Scout defend points alongside attacking them, a task which Scout is not well equipped for. Payload has the same defense issue as AD and CP5, but the attacking side demands that the cart be pushed, a task which Scout is fit for, but such a job can grow quickly boring. And of course, Capture the Flag can devolve into a purgatory mode pretty easily. But there is one mode that is quite uncommon, but Scout can thrive in if played correctly, and that's player destruction. Scout's lethality and mobility allow him to thrive in player destruction, letting him kill enemies, take the goods, and deposit those goods with little hassle. So those are your options essentially. It's either King of the Hill or player destruction. Obviously, other modes are perfectly fine for Scout, but if you want to really thrive, these two are your best bets. Keep in mind that your main goal as Scout is to be focusing on the objective. And of course, be sure to work together with your other teammates so that they can cover your weaknesses and you can probably cover theirs. For being a high damage, high mobility class, he works pretty well at being also a supportive class, able to help his team here and there and be sort of a jack of all trades handyman where applied. He shoots, he scoots, he's really good at patrolling, getting behind enemy lines, and of course, the Mad Milk can turn him into a great healing figure. Scout's speed and mobility allow him to engage in the fights he wants. If there's an enemy coming at you that you know you can't beat, running off to an easier target is always a good idea. The only thing that can catch up to you are other Scouts and Demo Knights, so you have the advantage in most situations. Please remember that your team also uses the medkits scattered across the map. Avoid using them if a medic is nearby, and see if you can coax some heals out of the good doctor in return. Just be sure to be polite and wait your turn. Obviously, if you're gonna die, then just take the medkit, but, you know, stay respectful. Keep in mind Scout's high mobility. It can let you traverse the map in ways that you may never have thought about. Your jump is long and your speed is high, so gaps can be crossed with relative ease, and elevated surfaces can be scaled with a little creative thinking. Scout is quite good at head-on encounters, but surprising enemies will always give you an upper hand in a fight. Use flanks, elevation, and backline areas to get behind the enemy and ambush lone stragglers or any high-priority targets like medics or snipers. Always take out snipers if you can, and don't be afraid to drop a medic in return for your own life. The further you delay a medic's uber charge, the better. friendly sentries can provide a great covering tool for escapes, and luring an enemy or two into one can make a fight much easier than fighting them alone. Dispensers serve as not just a great healing source, but also as a shield you can use to avoid taking damage from attackers. Just step inside and bam, now it's taking the damage. However, I would recommend avoiding teleporters so your team can use them. Scouts are able to navigate the map with relative ease, so leaving the teleporter to the slower classes lets everyone get to go where they need to be. When it comes to enemy buildings, of course destroy any that you see. Scouts are oddly good at destroying enemy teleporters, but avoid sentries at all costs, as they can flatline you very quickly and he has very little counters to them. Pick at them with your pistol if you have the range, but if you don't have any of that, just find another way around. And if there is no other way, direct your soldier demo to destroy it for you. And as a little bonus advice, when dressing your scout, consider using a shoe cosmetic to get rid of scout's ugly baseball shoes, and get yourself a shirt cosmetic of choice to round out the chest. Hats, face coverings, and miscellaneous options are free game after that, and of course avoid brightly colored paints if you want to actually look good. Congratulations, you have finished the guide. Hopefully, I've been able to teach you the very basics of Scout and some more useful things that a lot of people don't really know of. If I haven't, feel free to call me a slur in the comments. If I have, feel free to like and subscribe. Now, I want you to get out there and I want you to wreak havoc across Team Fortress 2. With your brand newfound knowledge, you will thrive out there, brother. You will thrive! The Bostonian army needs people like you, and goddammit, we're gonna fill those goddamn ranks. So you get out there, boyo. You shoot that scatter gun, and you shoot that pistol, and you beat people to death with a baseball bat. And I better see you out there. And when we see each other face to face, I want you to go, hey, you're that funny YouTube guy. And then I go, yeah, I am that guy. And then you go, cool. I don't know where I'm going with this. If you want more Scout advice, then feel free to watch my other videos, as I tend to cover him a lot, and general advice and the things that I like. And of course, you can go watch the old version of this guide, which, yes, this is in fact a remake. Haha, gotcha there. Good day to you, Bostonian man, for we are the gods of Team Fortress 2!